Back to another video, guys. This is the vlogs of my growing year of my vegetable garden. My name is Jerry and I'm going to try and document every single week of how it's going. It's been really cold this morning, and then just as lunchtime has passed it's got really hot, which is really nice. What I've been doing is actually bringing some of my seedlings out in the daytime and then bringing them back in during the night, particularly sweet corn. Particularly my sweet corn. I don't want any animals eating it, and sweet corn is just that crop that is definitely going to get dug up by mice, and you guys know that I have mice. So I'm going to let it bake in the sun, and then bring it back in during the night time. Not because of the cold temperature, because it's pretty much warm enough now out here for them over night. Did I say winter? No, I didn't. I just don't want anything digging them up in the night, so good. Okay, right, I think we need to get water in first, and then let's start doing a couple of garden jobs. I have quite a few things to do. I'm just going to kind of do what comes to mind. My coleus has been this size for, God, well over a month, well over 2 months probably. So I'm going to pop these up into individual cells. Now this probably will burn in the sun, so I'm going to be bringing this back indoors once I've potted them up, or at least keep them in the shade. Because I like to use these as just fillers in every like pots or areas that have gaps. And what else? There's something else I want to show you. Oh, my pumpkins. My pumpkins and my squash are all coming up really well. I've kept them in a propagator inside here, not purely to give them extra heat, but also to protect them from mice. So they could probably come out of the propagator now because they are all germinated. They're looking a bit odd. I'll put them up maybe in 2 weeks. Not yet. I'm going to wait for them to establish their root systems a bit better, even though there are actually 1 or 2 coming out the bottom. But I'll put these up, yeah, maybe 1 or 2 weeks. The pumpkin variety, I'll try and insert a picture. It's something de Provence. It's French, and it's a really cool ribbed pumpkin that's quite an antique-y looking colour. And then the courgette I'm growing is all green bush. It's just probably one of the most basic courgettes you can grow. And 3 of them have come up, and then 5 of the pumpkins have come up. So that is as good as I could have asked, really. Okay, cool, right, let's get out of this greenhouse for a minute, do some watering. There's something else I was going to show you guys, but I cannot remember. We'll get to it. Right, I've just remembered one of the things that I wanted to show you. So we always get, I say always, like we've lived here forever. We've been here for 3 years, 2.5 years. We always get slow worms in the garden. And last year we had loads. I say loads, maybe like 5 or 6 we found at a time. And they're really good for keeping slugs away. So they eat young slugs. And I'm sure the bigger slow worms eat bigger slugs, but I've actually just found my first slow worm of the year. So I leave some of my seed trays, the water trays, like the grow bag trays, on the lawn, and they're black, so obviously they get hot in the sun. And I leave them there just for the slow worms because I don't need that many of the black trays. I bought a pack of like 10 at one point. I don't need them, so I leave them out in the sun. And it lets them warm up, gives them a bit of the energy to go out and eat the slugs. So let me show you. I've just uncovered one. It may have gone, but let me turn you around. So this tray is actually half buried under the grass where I just left it over the winter, but I just lifted it a minute ago. There he is. That is a pretty medium-sized one. I won't disturb him. But it's just so cool to know that I've got like predators in the garden that eat the slugs. He was over here when I lifted it last time, so I'm going to put that back down and just leave him to it. But yeah, how cool is that? I don't know how you attract them. I think it's just you either have them or you don't. Because I know in my garden, in my old house, we never had slow worms. I think we had slow worms once, and I think that's because we actually moved. We caught one when I was a kid. We caught one at my nan's and brought it home and let it go in our garden. Probably not supposed to do that, but I was young. But yeah, really good to have in the garden. And I want to try and figure out whether we have hedgehogs, because I feel like I saw a hedgehog the other night, but no, it was in the morning actually, like it was dark. But I don't know, so I think I'm going to get one of those wildlife cams, like the nighttime camera that activates when it detects movement. I think I'm going to try and get one of those soon. I just think it's going to be so cool to figure out what's in the garden. I'm wondering whether there's like a motion detecting app you can have on your phone where I could like leave a phone out here to record anything, but I'll have a look into that because that'll be cheaper. I don't want to throw blame around, but I cannot find my watering can rose anywhere, and I'm wondering whether a fox has taken it. Maybe to spite me because I've been closing the greenhouse. I just cannot find it anywhere. The clematis, as expected, has grown halfway up the fence already, which is really good. So the flowers are just beginning to fade, but actually some of these lower ones have come out very recently. How pretty is that? So next year it's going to be, hopefully, all over this fence because I've got this trellis up. Right, it's time for this parsley to just come out. I've been talking about it for 3 weeks. I don't know how much longer I can talk about this parsley without someone shouting at me. So there was a couple of people that commented saying that they'd come back like crazy. I've got a second one there. So I'm digging this one out because I do want this space to just be clear, ready for this summer. But I'm going to leave that one until I need that space, just to see how it does. But this... Ooh. Oh wow. Oh wow. They look like parsnips. I wonder if you can eat the root. I'll have a look into that actually, because that looks delicious. Looks like parsnips. Oh my god, it smells like parsnips. Wait, and these leaves look similar to parsnips. And parsley and are they related? That would be really quite eye-opening if they are related. I'm gonna have to check that. I'll put it on screen. Okay, cool, right. Lovely stuff. And I did actually discard of some allium heads in this area last year. So there's loads of allium seedlings coming up here. I don't know if you can see them. But I might transplant them into the garden somewhere. Get the weeds out. Okay, cool. Right, so I don't have anything to go in here right now, but it's been bugging me, as you guys know. It's so dry. Cool. Okay, that looks better already. Yeah, there's one of the... Wait. Yeah, that's one of the allium stalks. Cool. Easy. Looks better. I need to find somewhere for my citrus to go. I'll probably pot these up into slightly bigger pots, but I don't know yet. I want to do a bit more research. A lot of people keep these in terracotta. I know that if I put it into a big terracotta pot, am I going to move it? No, I'm probably not going to move it. So I just want to be certain as to where they're going and whether they survived this winter in the greenhouse. Well, not just, they did well, but a lot of they died back quite a bit. So I've got the Maya lemon, and then I've got the Tahiti lime. Is it Tahiti or Tahini? Tahiti lime. Get rid of that snail. And these, oh, this has still got the spider on it. You can't see it from there, but they're just doing so well. And yeah, in the winter, the Tahiti lime struggled a bit more than the Maya lemon. So I'll figure that out, but that is not something I want to do right now. Okay, cool. Nice. Let's move on. Let's see what else there is to do. I'm sweating. You guys are probably thinking why you're always wearing a jumper, but I don't really have an answer for that. The lettuces are getting bigger by the day, and this one has got such pretty markings, and this one's getting really pretty markings too. And I've got a really dark one there, and then this gap. You know, there was a gap here. There wasn't actually a gap; it was just buried. So he's pushed his way back through the soil. So yeah, these are all doing pretty well. There's some nice mushrooms there. They are growing quite well. It feels slow, but I'm sure they're not. Well, this one has literally got 2 leaves still, and he was like that when I put him in. But if we go over to these, are doing much better, and it might be that they're getting warmer. So because they're in small cells, the cells are probably getting quite hot compared to the soil down on the floor. That will definitely be a fact. Factor and fact. But yeah, these are doing really well, and they've not been munched by any slugs. Again, my sweet pea is getting mutilated. I just need to move it. Maybe I'll plant that out today. What is doing it? Look, there's literally a floating piece. Okay, right, let me move that so that I definitely plant it out. So let's stick you there. And then the Nicotiana, I want to plant that out as well. Because if I leave it in here, it's going to get too dry. And I'm going to end up just neglecting it. And I think I found someone. Although, that looks like a leopard slug, which are actually beneficial slugs because they eat other slugs. But I'll definitely rehome him. I don't want him in here. Okay, so I thought I'd just quickly Google it whilst I'm talking about it rather than making something up or speaking without confidence. Leopard slugs eat dead and decaying matter. They don't. They very, very rarely go for living plants, and it said that they actually prey on other slugs as well. So it still feels wrong to leave it there. I'm not going to leave it there. Maybe I'll put it out by the pond. Let's put it somewhere away from any of my plants. Um, yeah, so that's really interesting. Thought I'd quickly fact check. Slug cam. Right. If I put him over here somewhere, let's put him. I'll put him near the water just so he's got the option of being wet or dry. There he is. Because it's a very dry day at the moment. Here's a little look at the pond. It is. I haven't really shown it properly because it's, it looks better in person. So, and all the liners on display. But we're kind of having a bit of a, well, me and myself, think about this, uh, this pond plant that I planted a couple of years ago that has absolutely spread halfway across the pond. Now, in a lot of ways, that's good for the pond because it keeps the temperature of the water cooler because the heat isn't penetrating the water. But it looks messy, and I know it's just going to absolutely explode in a month or two. The only issue is in the spring and early summer is when all the dragonfly larvae come up and the damselflies, and we get a lot of them in this garden. They always climb up like these. So this is baby bulrush, and this grows up really tall, and then the larvae crawl up the stems, and then hatch. So I don't really want to disturb it too much at this point. I might wait until it is like midsummer and then take some of them out, the weeds. But look, there's a creeping buttercup in the middle of the pond. Like, we don't have any frogs born, unfortunately. Frogs spawn. Um, but I know there's going to be stuff under there, so I don't really want to disturb it too much. But just looking around the pond, I've got a native hedgerow, beginning of a native hedge at the back. So we've got Sorbus, the hazel, which is Corylus. We've got Crataegus, which is hawthorn. What else do we have? Sorbus. Is that it? I think that's it. And then I've got this red beech here, apple tree, red currant, black currant, and then a mixture of hazel and sambucus and some other plants around. There's my Easter Island head and my other Easter Island head over there. Okay, cool, right, this is really turning into a bit of a long. I've got some of my epimediums here which are looking incredible right now. There was actually flowers on this the other day, but they seem to have faded already. But look at the colours on that. And then we've got our variegated sage. Yeah. There's a salix growing out of the pond. We've pruned it really hard this year, but probably going to try and get rid of it next year. But I want to see how it looks because it might look really, really cool. Right, I think I plant the Nicotiana here. This is where I plan to grow my runner beans. I've only got one. I might get another or two because these are like £10 on eBay. Right, but let's get these in. I think I'm just going to line them kind of around the front, maybe do like 3 there and 3 here, so that it gives me space by each pole to plant runner beans, which I've sown, but they've not yet come up. So some of these Nicotianas are actually about to flower. This one, oops, you can see he is going to flower within probably a week or 2. And the roots are surprisingly not that crazy vigorous. Right, so let's get some of these in. I dug out all the weeds from this spot the other day, getting it ready for the runner beans. I'm not saying there's nothing, not saying there's no weeds left in there, there definitely are. But we've also had a really good rain. So, what was my point? Crossing points. I just mean like this is nice. It's very well prepared. I planted some of these Nicotianas out in the front garden in pots. And these are just all left over, but they're a beautiful, beautiful colour. Mixed F1. I think F1, well, I think I know. F1 means that to breed an F1 seed, it's like a very specific parentage. So each parent is specific, so that if you collect seed from an F1 plant, it's not going to come true to the type. It could show like traits of either parent, which would come up very, very different to this variety. So a bit of advice, don't bother collecting F1 seeds unless you want to try something cool. I'm sure something cool will come up. So, right, let's get these in. This couch grass, I believe it's couch grass anyway, it's the creeping grass that comes up everywhere and the roots go so deep. I have that as one of my #1 weeds in this garden. Okay. There we go. Just in time, Strimone. I think I've hit an ant's nest. Can you see them all scrambling? Okay, they're just black ants. They are harmless. It's the red ants you want to look out for. I got these lovely lavenders the other day. These are the Hidcote variety. They're only £5 each, which I thought was not a bad price for that size, and these are going to only get bigger, so a couple of those. Ignore the leftover pond liner in the background that's been there for 2 years. But yeah, I planted these the other day, gave them good water. Luckily we had a lot of rain after I planted them as well. So okay, we've got the Nicotiana all planted. Okay, and that actually frees me up a nice tray. I've actually been running out of trays for the first time ever. So I've got a nice tray here, which I'll probably transplant either some more, or maybe the marigolds into, or something else. Oh, all the coleus. Anyway, I'll come back to that. Right, let me give those Nicotianas good water. I have here my sunflowers. I don't know how well the camera angle is. My sunflowers, which I potted up the other day. This is the coastal mix, so these are actually quite small. I'll have a look online to see the actual size of them because I really don't know. But they've all grown really, really well, and they're doing good. Potted them up a couple of days ago, and they're doing really well. The tomatoes, if you can see them here, again, doing really well. They've picked up nicely. They haven't shown any sign of stress from the change in the light and the change in temperatures, so it's good. I'm showing stress from the temperature though. I need to take the jumper off, but I'm probably gonna have sweat patches. Let me just do it anyway, whatever. Oh my god, the weeds. It's turned into a lovely day, which I'm so happy about because I was getting antsy indoors. No, I wasn't really. I was getting antsy when I was planting those Nicotianas. Get it? Right, okay, let's give these a good water. Right, the ground is quite damp anyway because we had a lot of rain yesterday, but just to get the root balls nice and moist, damp, sorry. Let's give this a good soak. Wash the ants away. Perfect. That'll do. Right, let's actually take a look. Oh, where am I going to put this? I'm going to try and put this down here without crushing anything. Okay, so we've got some seeds coming up, but the rows aren't yet visible. I can see one or two carrots. Oh, there's actually a few. Oh yeah, the more I look, actually, there are... Oh. Okay, we've got quite a few carrots. What have we got going on with the parsnips? Parsnips take longer to come up anyway, compared to carrots. So I won't expect those up for maybe another week. Is that? But then I've also got, because I grew calendula in this bed last year, I've got quite a few calendula seedlings, which is really good because I didn't grow any calendula this year. So I'm gonna dig those up when they get maybe one or two sets of true leaves, transplant them, and free plants. And I grew a really nice mix. It was like a antique. It was like a rusty orange, dark orange variety. It was a mix, so there was some regular oranges as well, but hopefully we'll get some nice flowers out of that. There's more there as well. Yeah. Okay, cool. The cauliflowers look the same. I'll give you a quick look, but they look exactly the same. Right. So there is absolutely no damage to these whatsoever. The soil's nice and damp because we had a good rain yesterday, and the cloche is working perfectly. So we are 2 steps ahead of the slugs, which only have 1 foot actually. So we're 4 steps ahead. Get wrecked, slugs. But there's literally like they can't even come under here. So wicked. It's working really well. Right, I wanted to quickly show my little cacti collection. This is for you, Holly, if you're watching, and anyone else that's interested. So I've got these Opuntias. They're actually all Opuntias, every single one. I got these from a collector for a Facebook group last year. So basically what I was looking for is some Opuntias that would be kind of winter hardy in the UK that I could grow outdoors if I wanted to. And he grows all of these in an unheated greenhouse. I have to show you these ones because these are looking so good. I love this little pot. So he sent me these as propagations last year, and they've all rooted. They grow really, really well, and they're actually putting on some new pads. So I'll probably divide them when they get a bit bigger, I'm not in a rush to divide them up because they are, you know, some of them are still small. They're not really going to be screaming for their own pots for another year or two. But I just thought I'd show you those. I do have all the names. If there is one that you like in particular and you want me to tell you the name, let me know and I'll be able to write it in the comments because I have the names of every single one, which is very rare for me. But I thought, as this man sent me some propagations of his like collection, I need to have the names. And here's my poor aloe that dies down every single winter but comes back up. My Sarracenias are finally shooting. I say finally, they've been shooting for a while actually, but they'll be opening soon. The Sarracenia flowers smell incredible if you've ever smelled them before. Actually, some people say they smell like urine. They smell quite citrusy, but yeah, I guess they do smell a tiny bit like urine. It depends on the time of day, I think. If you come here at night time, I think that's when they smell like urine. But yeah, we've got some beautiful, just opening up. I'm just going to part these coleus. I'm going to prick them out into groups though, so I'm not going to divide them individually. And use this Nicotiana tray to get them potted up. These are actually so dry, I did not realize. So let's try to do this quickly and get these potted on. I'm just going to do them in like whichever groups they naturally come off in. Okay, these plugs are actually a bit too small. Okay, cool. I'll crack on with this and then let's go somewhere else. Look how beautiful the colours of this little oak sapling are. I was planted by a squirrel in one of my pots with my hosta. This is one of my really pretty hostas. I actually have a small collection of hostas. I've always collected hostas. And I don't know the name of this variety. I've probably got the label somewhere, but how adorable is that? I'm going to keep it, maybe put it into a different pot at some point, but just those colours are so pretty. Very, very cute. See, the squirrels are good for something. So what they steal, they do plant back, but you know, nature's plan and all that. It's so cute. Right, thank you guys so much for watching this update. I hope you guys are enjoying. I know a few of you are, so that's really good. Really nice to get some comments and have a bit of interaction with you guys. And there's so much more to update you on, but I will do that in the next video, which will probably come out next week. So yeah, please do subscribe, and I hope you enjoy the next videos. I've got some big plans with my peppers, so stick around if you want to see that. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the next video.